What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I do apologize ahead of time. I might sound a little rough in today's commentary. It's only because I got a tad bit sick, so I'm a bit under the weather. But I can't hold off on this video, ladies and gentlemen, seriously. I have been seeing so much crap floating around here, whether it's from Charlie Intel or even from the official Treyarch team, how they are backpedaling almost every single decision and design decision that they have made for the overall Black Ops 7 experience that I truthfully can't hold back. First and foremost, guys, I saw this from Charlie Intel saying, Call of Duty has updated the Call of Duty Black Ops 7 reveal trailer thumbnail on YouTube to be a more grounded, realistic character compared to the original futuristic-looking Emma Kagan art. Oh man, ladies and gentlemen, as I stated, you can't make this stuff up. I have never in my whole entire life seen Activision fold the way that they are folding right now at this current date. I don't know what is making them think now, out of all times, that, more grounded skins and more grounded looking characters is crucial for the Call of Duty experience. They've been fighting and advocating against that for ages, for as long as I could possibly remember. And now, out of the blue, when competition is in the scene and there's a lot of games coming on out, and next year's packed as well, we got GTA 6 coming on through, it's almost like they're trying to patch their reputation as fast as possible to make sure that they can gain the trust back from the community before a lot of these big dogs start hitting, the overall playing space. Because if you really think about it, they had 3 things planned already. The cover art was already planned. The carry forward was already planned, and also the pre-order bonuses were already planned. And literally every single one of those things have been changed now, with the response from Activision saying that we understand you want more of a grounded Call of Duty experience, so we're going to go ahead and work on that. I don't know how much I believe it. I'm going to be real with you guys. They have to do this more than just 1 year, because they have finessed us too many times in the past. It's like the little boy who cried wolf. They can give us a little hint of something positive, and then they go right back doing the same old garbage again and again and again, and then they'll give us another little sneak peek of something nice, and then right back to the garbage again. I need to see this consistently year after year after year for them to actually be able to convince me that that's what they actually want out of the overall Call of Duty experience. And it's not just because competition is coming into the scene and they're hitting the panic button, because that's what it seems right now. Because as I stated before, I've never seen Activision work this way before. I can't even fathom that they have changed so many things around for, again, the online community, as I stated before, which is the vocal minority. Apparently we are the vocal minority, the loud minority, and here they are acknowledging us and changing things to what we have been begging for a long time now. And ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't end there. Treyarch also came out over on Twitter and had another dev talk where they sit down and kind of discuss a bunch of the questions with the overall community. And I gotta be real, these dev talks are kind of pointless because they just keep talking about the same exact things that have already been discussed in the past. Like, we know a bunch of the stuff that they keep talking about. We know we're going to be getting, traditional 3-lane styled maps. We know we're not going to be getting doors within the overall experience. We know we're going to be getting a bunch of remasters within the overall Black Ops, 7 experience. All of this stuff is common knowledge. Yet they keep putting out these dev talks to kind of, discuss it again and again and again. You see, the way that I see it right now is that they're putting out these dev talks to make it seem like they care about the overall Call of Duty community. What better way to make it seem like they care than coming out and constantly, trying to engage in conversations and, answering questions, so on and so forth. It's funny because if you look over to Battlefield 6, they don't got to do that. You know what I'm saying? They don't got to answer the same question over and over and over again. They don't have to hold 50,000 Q&As discussing the same topics. They implemented what they promised, people are happy with it, and they move forward, right? My biggest concern as well is that this communication is going to last. They've done this before, even with Black Ops 6. I remember they're coming out with Black Ops 6, and they're discussing stuff with us, and they were talking to us over on Twitter. I made a bunch of videos about that, right? You guys can go look back on my channel. I was giving them praise for doing such a thing. And then, in typical Call of Duty fashion, the second the game launches, give it a month or two, and they're completely gone. They're not even going to, bother with the overall Black Ops 6 experience. And you want to know why I personally believe they're talking about it so dang much and why they're repeating themselves so dang much? Because they know they are guilty. They know that they were producing something that the community didn't want. They had to backtrack and reevaluate everything. I mean, they even came out on this dev talk saying that Black Ops 7 was packed with doors, and they had to come back multiple different times, reduce the doors, and then at the very end state, they said, screw it, we're removing absolutely every single possible door there is that's a manual. They're going to have, automatic doors, but that's fine. But manual doors, something so simple that we have been begging for ages, was literally in Black Ops 7, guys. They never learned their lesson. They absolutely never learned their lesson, and then, again, as I stated, out of nowhere, out of the blue, competition comes into the scene, and now they're stripping the doors like it's nobody else's business. And they can't help but mention it 50,000 times because, again, as I stated, they probably feel extremely, maybe not guilty, but they know that they're in the crapper with all these different games that are going to be coming out very shortly. So, nothing better to do besides repeat the same thing over and over and over again to make sure that everything is straight. And I want to go ahead and bounce back to Battlefield 6 because I find it hilarious, Things like maps, for example. They only mentioned it once. They said, look, there's going to be larger maps coming after, launch. All the base maps are the smallest maps. They never mentioned it again. They didn't have to keep coming back onto, dev talks and say, oh, wait, we're going to have big maps in this game. They didn't have to keep tweeting about it. They said it, and they're going to stand their ground, and they're going to let their gameplay prove it. Treyarch, on the other hand, that's not really the case. They're all talk right now. We'll see when the gameplay comes on through. Maybe it'll be pretty solid, but right now they're all talk, and it's just rubbing off in a very desperate way. And also, one last thing that I find absolutely hilarious about these dev talks is the fact that everything that they're hyping up right now is basically counter-arguments to BO6. The amount of times they have dissed BO6 when it comes to the map sizes, again, doors, so many different things. They're doing the same thing they did with Modern Warfare 3. They're saying this game is everything that Black Ops 6 isn't. Same thing with Modern Warfare 3. This game is everything that Modern Warfare 2 isn't. Absolutely nothing wrong with that, right? Honestly, I think that's exactly what we want to see. We want to see them take good ideas and push with that. But is this really the cycle that we're going to be stuck in, ladies and gentlemen? Are we seriously going to be stuck in this awful cycle where literally they release a crappy game and then the next game is going to be the fixer-upper? And then they're going to release another crappy game and the next game is the fixer-upper. And they're going to release another crappy game. You see what I'm saying here? Why not just release the good ones year after year after year? If you truly learn from the previous experience, why are we not evolving? Why are we not adapting? Why do we keep backstepping every single time that we do something positive? This right here is why I can't fall for any of this garbage. Yes, it's good. I can't deny it. The communication's nice. It's outstanding. But I just can't. I can't. I see everybody, crumbling and shivering again for Treyarch saying that they're so back. But seriously, they might be back. But what is next year going to hold for us? What's the year after that going to hold for us? And the year after that one? Are they going to be able to do this consistently for years down the road? Or is this just lip service to go ahead and bait us in on their DLC project on another Black Ops game back to back? I don't know, man. I can't tell you guys how much I want to support this. I can't tell you guys how much I want to say this is amazing news and the developers are listening to us and they're actually doing something positive. Now, I want to handle this exactly like how I handled Modern Warfare 3. But I don't want to get finessed again. I don't want to get finessed again. This might be a phenomenal year of Call of Duty. And for everybody who's going to partake in that, and if you enjoy it, that's absolutely outstanding. But they have to prove to me year after year that they want to bring consistency to the table. Either that or skip a freaking year. You see, that's what this truly showcases to me. All of these games releasing the way that they are right now, where the main game is, garbage and the DLC is amazing. All this showcases to me is that they need to take a break. Yearly releases are not benefiting them, besides for, the people who are going to purchase COD every single year, regardless, because it's like a holiday at this point. People treat Call of Duty launches like it's Christmas. But when it comes down to your customer satisfaction, it's going to decrease every single time. And Call of Duty's massive, so this isn't going to affect it anytime soon. This might be something that will take like 10 plus years, maybe even 20 freaking years, if gaming is still even relevant at that point, and a bomb doesn't drop on everybody. But you get the point here. Call of Duty is so big that it's not going to happen, but you will notice it over time. It will happen at some point if they keep pushing these titles out the way that they are and handling it the way that they are as well. But ladies and gentlemen, if you could do me a massive favor, go down in the comment section and let me know what you guys think about all this information. Do you think Treyarch is actually cooking? Do you think they genuinely care about the overall community and these changes are going to be worthwhile? Or do you think that, later down the road, these changes are going to be irrelevant? I mean, we already saw the leaks for Modern Warfare 4, and everything that Treyarch is changing here for BO7 is coming right back with the next game. So, as I stated, I don't know. I want to give them props, but the consistency is not going to be there. And I guarantee everything that we complained about is going to return. instantly again. But, ladies and gentlemen, as always, if you enjoyed today's video, leave a like. If you hate it, leave a dislike. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. I post here daily at 8 morning Eastern Time. And we also double upload at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Everything between COD, Battlefield, Splitgate 2, Arc Raiders, Gears of War, pretty much anything that sparks my interest, I go ahead and post on this channel, so subscribe and hit that bell. And last but not least, I do stream Monday through Saturday over on Twitch, starting at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Of course, if you guys are interested, I got a link to that channel down in the description of this video. But as always, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you all next one. Peace out.